Gary Russell Jr. is an American featherweight prospect. He's a southpaw and he's undefeated. And the first time I saw him was on the undercard of Amir Khan's Zab Judah. And I was extremely impressed by what I saw. To me, he looked like the most naturally gifted fighter that I've seen since a young Roy Jones Jr. And what I mean by naturally gifted is he has abilities that you cannot teach. Ridiculous hand speed, combination punching ability, timing, balance, his ability to get angles on his opponent. All this shit, you can see the way it comes out so smoothly. You can see that it all comes naturally to him. It's not something that he's really had to be taught. And I was so impressed by that natural ability, because once you have a guy who has natural ability, literally the world is your oyster. You give him to a good trainer and he's, almost guaranteed to get to a world title minimum. So, when I seen him in that fight, I was incredibly impressed. And it was hard to contain my excitement for this guy. No homo. You get me? No homo. But excitement for this guy in terms of what he could achieve as a professional. But I guess in my excitement, I didn't want to look at the negatives that is there as well. Because he does have some flaws. I mean, virtually all fighters do, but I mean, he does have some flaws, which I think may be an issue once he reaches the top echelon of the featherweight division. Now, like I said, aside from all his tremendous natural ability, hand speed and coordination, combination punching ability, angles, all that kind of stuff, and the fact he's a southpaw, he's got pretty good defense. He's more of a pressure fighter than Roy Jones, for example. He's a come forward guy. He don't have that many knockouts. I think he's got like 10 knockouts in 20 something fights, 22 fights or something like that. So he ain't got that much knockouts on his resume, yet he is a come forward fighter. Now, you think, wow, if he's lacking power and he's a come forward fighter, that might be an issue, possibly, I mean, it's definitely always best to be a big puncher if you're a come forward fighter. Well, anyway, it turns out that Gary Russell Jr. already has been suffering with bad hand trouble. So that may explain why his knockouts ain't really coming like they should be. The guy's apparently had bad hand trouble, and hand trouble this early in someone's career really is a red flag. I mean, there's certain fighters that do have bad hands and go on to still be extremely successful in their career. Joe Calzaghe is one example I can give you. He had very bad hands even from the amateurs, but he persisted and made it work. But Gary Russell has already been having bad hand trouble. I think he's even had surgery on his hands. So that's a bit of a red flag, I'm afraid. Another thing is that he is very flat-footed. For a fighter as quick and athletically gifted as he is, it's strange to see someone so flat-footed. And, there's a lot of flat-footed fighters out there that are successful, but they're usually at higher weights, where they can get away with it. At the featherweight division, there's so many fleet-footed, skillful guys. You look at Gamboa, he's bouncing around all over the place. And it could really be a hindrance if you can't keep up with that kind of foot movement. So getting into bad habits, like flat feet, for a featherweight, I don't know, man. And I guess the biggest red flag is the fact that he's got his dad as his trainer. Now, I ain't got nothing against having your dad as your trainer per se. Because if Manny Stewart was your dad, then there ain't no one better to train you. You get me? So I'm not one of these people that just instantly dismisses a trainer a father-son relationship in terms of trainer and fighter. I'm not someone that will instantly dismiss that type of situation. My whole thing is that, is your dad a good trainer? Or is he just, a trainer because he's training you? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, he may be a crap trainer, but because he's your dad and he knows a little bit about boxing, he's training you. You understand? Is that the case with Gary Russell Jr.? Well, when I looked at some of his previous fights as a professional, to me, technically, he hasn't come on that much. What I have seen is that his ability, his natural ability is coming out more. His hands are getting quicker and, he's just getting more used to the professional game and getting more into his element. I'm also wondering whether he's, being more flat-footed because he's trying to get more power into his shots. I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of things. Maybe it's the hands and, he maybe is not that big a natural puncher. I don't know. But there is a few little niggling causes for concern about Gary Russell Jr. But his innate natural ability is incredible. But the only real thing about him, which, the only real issue that may not be able to get fixed is the hands. Everything else can get fixed. If they give him to Freddie Roach, because he's a come forward fighter and he's a southpaw. Put 2 and 2 together. You get what I'm saying? Freddie Roach, come forward, aggressive southpaw. You know where I'm going, innit? So, give him to Freddie Roach, and I think he could work wonders with him. Especially in the wild card, where they get all the great sparring. I think he'd work wonders with him. Even someone like Nazim Richardson, maybe. You get me? But more so Freddie Roach. But anyway, so I don't know if how many of you lot have actually seen him, but if you can get hold of the fight that he fought on the Amir Khan undercard, I don't know the name of the opponent off the top of my head. I'm not good with statistics and all shit like that. I just remember fights. You get me? I don't remember records and knockout percentages and all that type of shit. I just remember fights. So, if you lot haven't seen him, try find the fight. It was his not his last fight, the fight before that. That's when he fought on the Amir Khan Zab Judah undercard. If you can find that fight and watch it, you'll see why I was impressed. But for the moment, I guess it's going to be, I'm going to keep an eye on him, on his progress as a prospect, but I'd really like to see him get a better trainer, first and foremost. And the hand thing, I guess the hand thing can't go away. But man, so you lot take a look at him if you ain't seen him already, and tell me what you think. Yeah? This is Hatman. I'm gone. Bless.